Hey, my name is Scott Sallow, along with
Olympian Todd Williams.
We are here for another exciting edition of Coach's Corner, Level Up Studio here at the Level Up Training Center.
Looking forward to bringing the best to the podcast.
Hey, grab a cup of coffee, sit back and relax as we bring you another great episode starting now. And we are back, folks. Another exciting edition of Coach's Corner.
Coach's Corner.
Let's go with Todd Williams. Can't beat it. I just want to see how many times during the show we can mention Todd Williams' name. I just want to see. I don't know.
You're the one that mentions it.
I don't know.
But right now, let's get Superman.
Superman in the house.
Superman.
Let's go. I mean, come on. Stop the presses. I tell you, we book guests, and then we book guests.
Yes.
And there's only one Bronco. He doesn't even need a last name.
No.
It just, if you say, hey, there's Bronco, what are you thinking of?
Superman.
Superman, the pride of 1989. Bronco McKart in the house in one corner this morning. Let's go. Ready to go?
I'm ready.
It's game day.
I'm ready.
Come on, champ.
His coffee's kicking in.
Come on, champ.
I missed mine this morning. Where'd you get that from? That's where you got that from.
The gas station. You got to have it.
Okay.
French vanilla cappuccino, man. It's a go-to.
I need to try
All
that.
boxers drink that.
Okay.
Oh, first merchant.
All boxers drink that stuff. So, all right, we've got to ask you, we're going to start with the drink. Okay. You're getting ready for a big fight, Bronco. What are you eating and drinking before the fight, if anything?
Well,
people want to know.
I used to drink Monsters before the fight.
Just get all jacked up on that Monster.
Yeah, but those kind of hit a little too hard early, and then towards the end of the fight, you're kind of feeling it.
Okay.
Then I switched to coffee.
Okay.
I would just do coffee about an hour before a fight.
What are you doing before your workouts?
You mean before races back in the day?
Yeah. How about that?
Coffee. I would do. That's
what I'm doing. What are you guys making fun of me?
Addicted to routine. I would do the exact same thing before all competitions.
Yeah. I kind of stuck with that too. But not not during the whole training, but the last couple of weeks, whatever I was going to do on fight night, what time I went to bed, what I ate, what I drank, all those kind of things. So yeah, absolutely.
Bronco McKart, the champ. We got it, Superman. Let's go. So we got to go back to early Bronco days.
You forgot it was Superman. I remembered.
Yeah. I was just throwing you off. No, you just do that on the show. Sometimes you do it like it's like a cliffhanger.
I'm just calling you out.
So here's what we got to know, Bronco. Set the early, and I know your story, right? Right, it's a great story, man. So tell us how. I mean, we're growing up doing what we're doing, man. You're swimming and wrestling and baseball and football and basketball. You're boxing, man. Yeah. How'd you get into boxing so young?
Well, my dad was an amateur boxing coach, and at that time, there was a certain group of guys I was running around with where I lived that were all kind of like headed down the wrong road in life. And my dad one day just met me at the door, said, "Have a seat, we're going to talk." And I respected my dad, loved my dad, but I feared my dad too. Yeah, right? My dad would snatch you right up. It wasn't like nowadays; they didn't just talk. My dad would snatch you.
His action.
So sat me down on the couch, and he said, "I see the path you're going in life, Bronco." And he said, "I'm going to make that change."
How old are you?
I was like 14.
Okay.
And so he said, "Every day when you get home from school, you're going to spend time with me. I don't care what it is. We can go play baseball. We can shoot hoops. Whatever you want."
I love it.
He was a boxing coach. I started going down to the boxing gym. Initially, I hated it because I was doing what he told me I had to do. He didn't tell me I had to go to the boxing gym, but that's the road I decided to go with him.
Yeah.
So I'd go down there, and then I decided I wanted to start training. So my uncle, Harold, we called him H. He passed away, but for the first 3 months of boxing, all I did was footwork, balance drills, getting my feet right.
You're not hitting anything.
Never let me throw a punch for 3 months. They made me do these drills over and over and over, and I hated it. But they saw that I was willing to do it because I wanted to be good at what I was going to do. And so after 3 months of that, went down, started boxing. I remember the first day I sparred this guy who everybody in the gym, I don't mention names, but everybody in the gym was like, "Oh, you don't want to spar that guy, blah, blah, blah." Hit him with a right hook and dropped.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I was like, I think I was more shocked than anybody. I was like, uh-oh, I can't believe
this just got real.
Yeah,
this just got real.
Next time I sparred,
put him to sleep.
Went to that right hook, boom, dropped another guy. And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, this is going to be my baby right here.
How old are you at this point?
14.
14? Okay. 14. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good. Nobody's messing with that guy in the corner until Bronco got in there.
He's not getting bullied.
We're going the right hook.
He wasn't getting bullied in high school.
No, he did. I stayed away from Bronco. I walked past Bronco's locker. I just kept walking. I wasn't stopping at his locker.
He wasn't going to do anything. He was ready for training. He wasn't going to.
That's what I meant.
I rode through high school safely.
So walk us through you got the boxing bug, man. You're into it. Your uncle, your dad got you all going. So when did it get like serious? Are you into high school? Is that when it got serious? You're like boxing for like legit?
No, it was serious to me at 14.
You were into it.
I mean, I would like when it was wintertime out, real cold before we could go outside and run. I wouldn't run outside real cold in the winter. I know you did, but I did when I was a teenager. And I'd go down to the community center. They would let me in at like 5 in the morning. Scott Toes meet me at the door, let me in. I'd run 45 minutes before I went to school, work out in the morning before school, get off school, go work out again. I mean, I took it serious because I didn't feel like I was just a natural. I didn't feel like a guy that had the most talent in the room, but I said to myself, if I can outwork these guys, I can catch up.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing. That's why I've called him and texted him periodically out of the blue and said, bro, you're one of the guys I respect more than you even know, because you had that same mentality that I had. Like, I might not be able to, you might be more talented than me, but in the long run, while you're sitting home eating pizza, drinking pop or whatever you're drinking, I'm going to be out grinding. I'm going to catch up, and eventually I'm going to pass you. It's going to be off my work ethic, not off my talent.
Yeah, it's interesting. We had Coach Bork on, which obviously Hall of Fame coach, right? Coach Todd in track and cross country in high school. But it was interesting when Todd usually asks a question that the answer is typically Todd. But this one threw me off a little bit, and I think the question was something like, Todd was not the best runner by build or whatever, but he was the hardest worker.
Exactly.
So you weren't going to outwork him.
No.
I mean, he was just committed to being the best.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what sport it was for him.
I always looked at it like if the end of the year banquets, some people look at the most valuable like that. Mine was, I always wanted to be perfect attendance, hardest worker.
Yeah.
That's the awards. I never wanted to miss a practice, and I always wanted to be the hardest worker, most improved. Right? That was way more, because what happens if you're perfect attendance, never miss a practice, most improved, hardest worker? You're usually
MVP.
Takes care of it.
Yeah. I wanted to get the coaches award.
Oh, I tried to get that
back. Again, all of you that have won coaches awards, God bless you. But for me, I always feel like it's like I wasn't very good, but if you were nice to the coach, you get coaches award.
Yeah. But you know what Bronco's saying? It's like his work ethic, the way he would lead. He didn't have to say anything. Like, people walk in the gym, guarantee, and they're like, they might not even know it's Bronco. Man, that guy, he's working.
Yeah,
he's sweating. He's working. He's sweating. And then the next day, he's working. He's sweating. And then it's Groundhog Day.
Yep.
And then and the Groundhog Days become more and more important. Every single day was the most important day.
Well, people would ask me, don't you ever get tired of doing that? And I said, no, not at all. When I get tired of it, it's over for me.
Yeah.
That's when I have
and
to
you and we've talked about that.
Absolutely.
How do you know when you're done?
Yep.
And you just know.
Yeah.
You just know.
Yep.
So first time you were actually in the ring with somebody like a true fight, how old were you then? You 14?
Well, actually, I had my very first boxing match at 9.
At 9?
I was 9 years old. Yeah, I was actually at a show, and I think it was in Adrian or somewhere. They needed a fill-in bout. I mean, I was just a fighter mentally.
They just get you off the streets.
Yeah, I'll go. So I went in and boxed. I'm 9 or 10 years old, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I was like, I don't like this. And then
Did you get popped?
I'm sure
right
I
hook?
did. Yeah. No, it wasn't no right hooks.
No right hook?
No, I never really got hit with right hooks. I landed the right hook.
So you mentioned you mentioned your dad and your uncle, right? Other people influential in your life as a boxer. I know there's a ton, right? And I follow your stuff on social media, and man, you're walking with some heavy hitters, legit heavy hitters in the boxing world.
I mean, first I'm gonna say locally, obviously my dad. My dad is my man. I love my dad. He's my best friend to this day. Love that guy to death. My dad, my Uncle H, all my uncles, they all had some part in my boxing career. Joe Jarmo, who was a legend here in Monroe. That guy was, and growing up, I looked up to like Keith Vining, Kevin Vining, Todd Riggs. I looked up to those guys. Those were the guys that we as the amateur kids wanted to be like. Oh man, those guys, we want to be like them, And then going forward in boxing, of course, Muhammad Ali was one of my all-time favorites. Tommy Hearns. Mike Tyson, everybody that grew up in the 80s loved Mike Tyson if you watch boxing, those kind of guys. And for me, I've lived what I call surreal, because I've got to meet Muhammad Ali, got to hang out with Mike Tyson, and Tommy Hearns.
All the time.
Yeah, I'll be with him this evening.
Yeah, I know it.
Sugar Ray Leonard was my manager for a period of time.
I remember that too.
Everybody as a kid that I grew up and loved in boxing, I got to just hang out, meet, become friends with, go to dinner with, things like that. And there's times where sometimes I'll be sitting across the table from Tommy, and I look at him and say, bro, even now after 20-something years, this is surreal to me, because I just remember I had your pictures in all my lockers and in my workout rooms. And
I know it.
Everywhere I wanted to be like Tommy, and to be friends with him, it's just.
You're sitting having dinner with the hitman.
Yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
All through hard work.
What a road.
Hard work, dedication.
What a road. Yeah. So help me with this, right? So and I know there's no typical day, but you mentioned the Groundhog Day over and over. You're getting ready to fight, right? And you've had some big time fights. What is you're in the middle of your training. Start from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. What's a day look like as you're getting ready for a big fight?
So let's go like 10 or 12 round fight, world class or world championship fight.
Okay. We're getting dialed in.
Yeah. So I would get up in the morning, usually around 6:30. I would run 3 to 5 miles. Get on the treadmill, or not treadmill, the Stairmaster for 30 minutes after the run. I would do, in the morning, I would do like 750 crunches, setups, something like that, 150 push-ups. Do some neck exercises, some pull-ups, dips, things like that. Go back home, eat breakfast, take a nap. Go to the gym in Detroit. I would go in, do like 40 minutes on the Stairmaster. Shadow box 3 rounds. Box a total of 15 rounds. And when I say box a total of 15, I might spar 8, hit the bag 3, shadow box 2, hit the 15 rounds on top of everything else that I did. Do another 500 crunches, push-ups, or crunches and setups. Some more push-ups. The ball where you beat your stomach with that 60-pound medicine ball. Different exercises, things like that. Go home, lay down after I eat dinner, lay down, get up, go do a little half-hour workout at the Y. I did that on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday was a long cardio day. Saturday was a long cardio day. Sunday was rest.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
Over and over and over.
That's great. You did more crunches right then than I have in my lifetime, Bronco.
Yeah. So, but it was.
What are you laughing at? That is true story. That's why I got my legs like this.
I didn't say anything.
He was agreeing, actually.
He was agreeing. I know he was agreeing. Oh, good stuff. So we always ask this question, right? So somebody wants to get into the boxing world, right? A young kid growing up in Monroe, growing up somewhere, right? And you got to point them in the direction, give them some stuff. Hey, I want to get started. How do you get them started? What do you tell them?
So you have 2 places in Monroe currently right now. You have the Opportunity Center, which is ALCC for me. It's always going to be Arthur Leslie Community Center down the east side. Ran by Todd Riggs and Keith Vining and Kevin Vining. They're all in it. Fantastic.
Yep.
The way the way they are with the kids down there, because it's more than just boxing. Todd mentors these guys in a positive way. Very very Christian like guy and love them to death. And then you have the gym where they left. Now, former trainer that was with Todd and those guys, Tiger Anderson, has a little gym down there at Oaks of Righteousness downstairs.
Basement of the church, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Church,
okay.
Yeah.
That's a nice. I went down there a few times trying to throw hands.
Well, that originally is where Joe's Boxing Club started
out of
1960s or 50s or whatever.
In that location?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to go down there.
Was that what Todd was telling us about that, wasn't he, or not?
He was that's where I was trained. Yeah, he's trained down there before. I mean, trained.
He was originally.
That
was Todd's original gym. Then they ended up going to the.
Okay. I thought he mentioned.
So that's the 2 spots.
Okay, in Monroe.
In Monroe. Yeah.
In Monroe.
Yeah.
To get started.
See, and I feel like jiu-jitsu, wrestling, we had boxing. I think all kids need to learn how to take care of themselves.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, but there's so many people nowadays. But that's violence. No. You're learning how to take care of yourself
and protecting yourself in a time of need is not violence.
No,
it's called being logical. In my opinion,
that's what I said.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I mean, and not only that, learn how to work hard, learn how to set goals, learn how to grind, learn how to fight. Because boxing's tough. You're gonna get hit on the chin, and guess what you got to do?
Get back up.
You got to keep training. You got to keep waking up at 6:30 the next morning.
It teaches you discipline. All those sports, boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, all of those things can transfer into life, right? You know what I mean? Hard work will get you where you want to be. No matter if you want to be the best in the gym, you have to be willing to outwork everybody. If you want to be the best on your job, you have to be willing to outwork everybody. If you want to get anywhere in life, you have to work hard. Nobody just hands you anything, and you're going to get hurt in training. There's times you're going to get hurt in life, right? When you get hurt, do you just say, well, I'm done, I'm never going back? No, that's not how it works. You get up and you figure it out, and you're going to lose sometimes.
Yeah. When
you lose, you figure out, I lost. How do I make it better? How do I win? You're going to get knocked down. You stay down or you get up. There's only 2 choices, right? There's not 3. There's not a middle ground in that. So same way with life. It's going to hurt. You're going to lose some battles. There's things you learn, you grow, and you move on. Yeah. That's all you can do.
It.
So you've had some big fights, right? I remember obviously being out in the fairgrounds, right? All of Monroe County in your corner, man. What was that like, that moment, that day, to fight in front of your hometown fans? I mean, you're the hometown hero, right?
Yeah.
You're fighting for all of us that day.
I'm goosebumps.
All of us.
Yeah.
Goosebumps right now.
How about us as classmates of you watching it?
Bragging,
it's like, man, that's a dude I saw in 3rd hour class.
Yeah.
And now
Did you see me in class?
I don't know. Were you in class that day?
Maybe, I don't know.
It might have been optional. I was
probably training.
I wasn't. I was out running. I was at the track.
I was in class for both of us. What was that like, man? What a moment.
You know how people will say, you gotta envision things, and then you gotta go after them. You gotta make them happen. I can remember literally sitting in high school on many different occasions, just staring out the window across the field a few times, thinking about like, I someday I'm gonna fight for a world championship here.
Isn't that crazy?
Here in Monroe. I always said Monroe High School, but in Monroe, I said Monroe High School, but I did get to fight in Monroe High School also. But just to be, I mean, I could have took that fight anywhere. Could have made more money fighting out west. I could have made more money fighting out east. I didn't care about the money. I wanted to do it here and share it with the people that supported me so well as I was coming up the ladder. Like, this was my way of saying thank you for helping me. Right? Let's bring this here to Monroe. Let's put us on a world stage, and let's bring ESP in here. And it was great.
It's crazy.
It was fantastic. You know, and I envisioned in high school, I envisioned walking to the ring up the middle of the Monroe High marching band. I got to do that. You know, all the things that I thought of and envisioned, I've been able to live. Yeah. You know, from getting a Kronk jacket at Emmanuel Stewart's house when he called me, when they said, come to my house, got something for you. Me and my brother drove up there. He had my bag, my name on it, my shirts, my jacket, and I was like, man, I used to lay on my couch, 17, 18
dreaming
years old.
of this.
Just dreaming about the day he was going to call me and do that. It happened when I was like 23 or 4, but it happened. I've been one of those people that I lived literally my dream.
Yeah. You know, and for me as just a sports fan and a Monroe County fan, to sit here between you and Todd, I mean, 2 of my favorite moments growing up, saying, I know those dudes, watching him march out in the Olympics 2 different times, watching you fight on ESPN. I mean, and I'm thinking of all of the people that are watching our show, right? Not that you're going to be a professional fighter or a professional runner, whatever it is, but man, dreams can come true. Hard work, grit, get after it. And I tell you what, for our county, and I think that's why we wanted to start the show, dreams can come true, man. You sat in third hour staring out the window and had a dream. You're running around past Vince's corny dogs. They're growing up, running over the railroad tracks, putting in all these miles because he had a dream. And we're riding mopeds, and this dude's running. Right? Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah. I'm going to eat something to tasty freeze, and you're boxing somebody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's just a different level. So I think for the kids out there, the coaches are out there, it can happen right here in Monroe County, man. We've got some stories to tell here.
And that's what bothers me a lot when people, you know, you have to go, you got to be from there. You have to do it from here. No. As long as you surround yourself with good people, you believe, and then you wake up every single day and you grind. And you get after it, and you fight through the failures. I don't care where you're from. Yeah. But, you know, the key is like, you know, surrounding yourself with good people, surrounding yourself with people that aren't just sugarcoating it. They're not going to just say, they're going to tell you some good guidance, you know, but you got to have that core group of people like, man, you can do it, man. Let's get up and let's do this.
Yeah. See, boxing, you'll notice like a lot of these big fighters have huge entourages, right? You know, 50, 30, 20. Man, for me, my entourage was me, my dad, my brother, my trainer, my cut man. Yeah. They would be shocked when I'd be in my locker room with
where's the rest of them?
Yeah, I wasn't into that because because I can't remember the fighter's name, right? Sergio Martinez said, look at who's in your locker room after the loss, not after the win.
That's a good point.
Right. That's what matters, right?
I like that.
So I kept my circle very tight because I was never one of those people that were going to get disappointed by this guy only rode with me up to this point and then he fell off. I know who my people are from day one, you know, and I always kept my circle tight. And if your circle is tight, they all have the same vision, same mindset as you. They want to see if you're the one for you, you know, they want to see you win. They want to see you succeed. I remember one time, funny story. I saw you running down Elm one day, and I was like, "Who?" Cause that's when I was, you know, boxing. I ran a good pace, and I thought I ran a good pace. I saw you running. I was like, "Who the freak?" I had to look. I said, "Dang, that's Todd Williams." I said, "I got to make sure." I looked at the time. I got to make sure I'm not on the bike pad at the same time as this guy.
You're making me look bad.
Not gonna let that happen to me. I was like, "Dang." Yeah. I'll never forget that.
But you know, like in boxing, running, you know, when you're trying to get to the next level, and you're always trying to get to that next level, you're just in a zone. Like when I think about you looking out the window, thinking about visualizing what you're going to do. And, you know, if I was getting ready for the state championship, to me, it just goes by and you're just working hard and you're going to the next competition, then you're working hard. Next thing you know, you're 54. Yeah. You know, or your career, it's, you know, because you're so involved in your work. Yep. And then trying to get to that next level. Like, I remember there was times after a big race, I kept training logs for everything, like every mile, the weather conditions, what I would eat, you know, so I kept that for about 22 years of training logs. And like there was one race where I ran real well, and all I cared about was that was in AM. So PM said, shake out 4-miler. And then the next AM, the next day, even there was no celebration.
Right.
It was like, oh, I got to go to AM. I got to fly home.
Yep.
And I got the next training session. So now I think that we can look back on it and share our knowledge. That's what I like too, is telling these kids, look, you can look out that window, but get ready.
Dream.
Because if you're going to have the dream, you better match it up with some serious work ethic.
That's what it takes.
Yeah.
Hard work. Again, no matter what you do, it takes hard work. And it seems so, it seems so cliche.
Right.
But we used to always say a bad fighter in good shape can beat a good fighter in bad shape. Mm-hmm. So I took that to heart. I was like, I will never lose a fight because of my conditioning. Mm-hmm. If I lose a fight, if it comes down to conditioning and will, I'm going to win 100 out of 100. Yep. If it comes down to talent, I might lose some of those. Mm-hmm. But when it comes down to conditioning or just that mental mindset of that will, or who's going to break who, I'm not going to be broke because you can't physically outdo me.
Yeah. Here's a good. I was thinking about this question. When did you know? Like, when you sparred with someone, when you were running, maybe it was conditioning workout, but I'm sure it was in the ring. When did you know? Like, this is going to happen.
Well, it's funny because I remember when people saw it before I realized it, and that's another thing too. That's where that self-belief system comes in.
And you got your group saying,
yeah, they said I would have people at fight saying, "Man, kid, you got something that I don't see in these other guys." This is why I was still an amateur, and I just think I don't know what they're talking about. I even asked my dad about it. What are you guys talking about? Mm-hmm. He said, "You got it, Bronco. Just start believing." I never believed. And then I think I was like 19 or 21, my final year in the Golden Gloves, 21 years old. I was standing in the corner with my arms like this before they announced my fight because I knew I was like, this guy's done. You know what I mean?
Love it.
And then I walked here, and I think my last year in the Golden Gloves, I knocked everybody out through the tournament, and then I ended up getting beaten the Nationals on a decision. But even after I got beat right away, I had the opportunity to sign with Jackie Callan. But it took me about the age of 20, 21 to believe. But people were telling me that from about the age of 18. Mm-hmm. But I never saw it. I didn't believe it. Mm-hmm. But once I started believing, I was like, man, I can't actually
Was there
fight.
anybody when you had that win against, like, I just got that guy. Now the ball's rolling faster. Like that big moment, that big win.
Well, in the amateurs, it would have been when I beat this guy, Kevin Hicks. Mm-hmm. I beat him, and actually Todd Riggs fought him a few times in the amateurs. He was like a guy that was kind of up there. And but in the pros, when I beat a guy named Skipper Kelp, when I beat Skipper Kelp, not only but the boxing world knew. They said,
got their attention.
This guy's coming.
Okay.
He was the guy. He was the guy that was groomed to
That's
be
when
the guy.
Superman
was made.
No, not then. That's when I beat Aaron Davis. They gave me that nickname.
Yeah, I was gonna say. When did the Superman come in?
I fought this guy named Aaron Davis.
I think you told me the story, but I got to hear it again.
Superman Davis was his nickname.
He stole his nickname.
No, I was still just Bronco McKart.
You beat a guy, you take their name.
Name like Bronco, I didn't really need a nickname. They would tell me.
That's fair enough.
So we were at the weigh-ins, and I knew Aaron. Aaron was real former world champion. He had more knockouts than I had, even fights at the time when we fought. But I said, I got to get to this guy somehow. So we were sitting there, and they said, Bronco McKart and Aaron Davis to the scale. And I jumped up real fast. And I said, will the real Superman please stand up? Man, he went crazy. He didn't like that, right? And I knew I had to get to him something. We were at the scale, face-to-face, all that crazy stuff. And then my dad said to me, I was on like the second floor. My dad was on the fifth or vice versa. But my dad said, we need to switch rooms. I said, why? He said, they're going to try to keep you up all night. I just know, Bronco. He said, let's switch rooms. So we switched rooms.
Yeah.
I went to the next floor. My dad went to my room. They went by and banged
Sure enough.
on my dad's door all night. He never one time got up and answered or nothing. He said, I just want them to think it's you in there.
I love it.
Nice.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. Okay.
And then you got what'd you get him with?
I beat him on a split decision.
Was it a battle? Was it a battle?
Oh, man, yeah. I got 11 stitches over my eye, broke my eardrum. It ended up getting nominated for top 5 fight of the year. Didn't win it, but it was a brutal fight, man. It was, It was a back.
Can we find that on YouTube? That's out there somewhere, right?
It was on there. They took it off.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think he didn't like that too much. He still felt he
Wow.
wanted to fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great fight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Split
That was the
decision?
game changer. Yeah, split
Yeah, that was the
decision.
game
And then
changer.
took his
a couple
nickname.
fights after that. Then I got the world title.
So how many total professional fights?
68.
68 professional
68.
fights. That's crazy.
Had a
Yeah,
lot
you
of-
don't see boxers doing that.
No, that's just a lot.
Not too much anymore.
So how many times during a year?
Well, I mean,
8-10 times a year?
Early on in my career, I fought a lot when you were fighting them 4, 6.
And that doesn't
round
happen
fights.
now.
No, but when I started fighting 10-round fights, I went to about 4 times a year.
Okay.
10, 12-round fights.
All right, we got to wrap up.
We're almost
here.
wrapping up.
Wait, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, before we get going, we got a couple minutes. I was thinking about this too.
I got one too.
You talked about when you said, "With the real Superman, please stand up."
Yeah.
And you guys did the face-off. I want to know from you. Scott's going to face off with you. Who's got the better face off?
Oh, that's no
Me
question. I'm taking
or
that.
him. So we're going to face off. You got to stand up and face off right now against Bronco.
That's no problem.
You ready?
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Into the
I want
camera?
to see it on camera. Yes.
I got to stand up next to him?
Yeah, it's like a face. I don't
Next to
care.
you, you gotta go face.
Yeah, right there. Let's see it. Boom. That's pretty good. All right, now it's my turn.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you capture that? All right, see this now. Oh, we thinking that. This just got real.
Huh?
Okay, let me see this. I'm gonna be on the camera.
Here we go. My face off.
Oh, that's nothing. Bronco's taking you down like in the second round. Ain't no split decision. See that? Get you back on the map. All right, Ray, real quick.
Okay,
Yeah,
now.
I got a real question.
No, but I want to know who we
my
thought
microphone.
had a serious face-off look.
Oh yeah.
Well, both of your faces are pretty scary.
Yeah. Well, you ain't kidding there. You ain't kidding there. All right, real quick.
He's picking me.
Top 5 boxers of all time.
Of all time.
All time. I gotta know. I'm a boxing fan.
I'm going with Muhammad Ali.
Okay, gotcha. He's in my top 5.
Sugar Ray Robinson.
Okay.
Sugar
Legend.
Ray Leonard.
2 Sugar Rays.
I'm going to put my man Tommy Hearns
He's
in
got to
there.
be in there for me.
And pre-Robin Givens, Mike Tyson.
Okay. Okay. That's good.
That's a
5
serious
there.
5.
Anybody that doesn't make anybody, who would you throw in there? You throwing in Joe Frazier? Throwing in Holyfield?
Chavez went forever.
Yeah, Chavez, yeah, but I just,
What was Chavez's record? He
He was crazy good.
He was 89-0 before he got beat.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
how many
still-
amateur fights?
Oh, I don't know about that.
He had a
He
lot.
had he had a lot. He had a lot.
I like his top 5.
Here's what I love about Bronco, right? Not only great guy, great fighter, but giving back to Monroe County, right? And all you've done, positive influence and representing our county so well, man. We
Thank you.
appreciate that. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
Hey, I love it. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank
We
you for
love
having
having
me.
you, man.
I
That's
enjoyed
good.
it. And
And we got to go toe to toe
We
with
did
it.
go to toe-to-toe. But, and the thing I love about Bronco, he did his thing in his career, but he's also helping so many people
That's
in
what I
his
mean.
county.
And that's what
Always.
the show's about.
Yeah.
That's what our show's about.
Thank you.
Get in
guys.
touch. Get boxing. Do something.
Let's go. Get out there and get after it. Let's go grind like Bronco.
And believe you can do it.
Believe you can do it.
Ready?
We'll be back for another episode of
Coach's
Coach's Corner.